As President Donald Trump listened in the Oval Office, Nikki Haley pulled off a dramatic gambit to kickstart Middle East peace talks, cutting off U.S. funding to a U.S. government program that provides critical assistance to Palestinian refugees. ArrowRight was a surprising idea, especially coming from a United Nations ambassador who toured West Bank refugee camp months earlier. Trump's chief of staff, John F. Kelly, the only other person in the Oval Office at that moment, according to Haley, rushed to find Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, who had made clear he would oppose cutting funding. This left Haley with a highly sought-after opportunity: direct access to Trump. In moments that followed, successfully pushed the president into a decision that could drain resources for food, education, other services for millions of refugees, including girls and young women he had recently met, alienate Palestinian leaders once hoped to win over. The tense meeting in early 2018, as described in Haley's memoir and confirmed by former administration officials, highlights extraordinary conflicts between Haley's nearly 2 years working under Trump and, more recently, his campaign against him for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. An examination of time as U.S. ambassador shows that even as she edged with Trump on some key foreign policy views, she resisted openly criticizing him, instead pressing for meetings and phone calls. Her reach alienated from some other White House officials. He abruptly announced he was quitting in October 2018. But unlike others in Trump's administration, he waited years before speaking out against his presidential record. Haley initially voiced her disagreements with Trump in her memoir, and only recently has she gone from praising him to China to saying he showed moral weakness on the issue. Trump, who once effusively praised Haley, now calls her a globalist, mocks us from the beginning. Haley said Trump's UN he faced the persistent problem of how to be effective as ambassador. It was Haley's first real experience with foreign affairs, and her first exposure to high-stakes geopolitical decisions that presidents make. A steep learning curve for the former South Carolina governor, who says she has never met an Israeli leader or traveled to region and describes herself as a foreign policy newbie. Defined. When he took the job, he promised to turn to international diplomacy, an approach Trump has regularly rejected. He also promised to effect change through the United States, although supporters of Trump and his America First agenda view the organization with disdain. While in office, Haley edged frequently with some Trump's cabinet members, particularly Tillerson, who perceived her political ambition and access the president as dangerous and disdained her lack of foreign policy experience. According to White House aides who spoke on condition anonymity described private conversations. Other Trump allies, meanwhile, fell